Hey, what's going on, guys? Mackenzie Long here. So today we're going to be talking about the 4 levels of wealth. And what I mean by that is these are just rules that seem to apply to our universe today. And it's not something that I made up or somebody else made up. This just seems to be general principles in the process of building wealth. And really the first thing we're going to be talking about in this process of building wealth is this same step that almost everybody has, and that if you want to build wealth, you also have to start with having some money to be able to build wealth. And so we're going to be talking about that income portion and the opportunities that come depending on your value and how you decide to earn income that will then help you to compound that effect. Once you've earned the money, you decide and you build the habit of saving it, and now you're going to invest it. And so again, that first part of it is all around earning. And the number one challenge people seem to have with money, outside of just not knowing how it works and learning the principles behind it. So maybe number 2, so the second biggest challenge that people have as far as creating wealth is going to be around having income, which is going to be our main topic for today. And as we're getting into this, make sure you smash that like button and also hit the subscribe as well. That way you can get additional content when it comes out. And all of these things are designed to help you in your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, and even your fun. Hopefully you've noticed all the fun videos that we've been putting out as well. If you haven't seen those, go check it out after this one. So there's really going to be 2 ways for you to view this video. Some people, I think, are going to look at this video and go, well, this is the reason why I can't create enough money to actually build wealth. And the other side is going to see it as their pathway to creating wealth. Now, which one you decide to be is really kind of up to you, but I want to lay out this groundwork because if you feel like maybe you've been stuck in this particular situation for a long time, you can't really seem to get out of it, you keep doing what everybody's telling you to do, you're a hardworking person, you show up to your job on time, you do the things you're supposed to do, you're willing to stay late, you're putting all this time and effort, but you don't really seem to be getting ahead. And each one of these levels that we're going to be talking about requires a different set of skills. So it's going to require getting good at some things that maybe you're not as good at, or maybe finding some talents that you didn't know you had. So as we get into it, I'll explain what each one is and then kind of some of the roles so that you might be able to notice this. So, and the bottom level, the bottom layer of wealth is going to be the doer. Now, the doer, they are important, but if we're talking about levels of value, and obviously value and income are tied together, the more value you provide, the more income you make. So the bottom level is going to be the doer. This is going to be the person that you see basically doing all of the work. So they're the ones that are working for a company and they're going to be cleaning the toilets, or they're going to be the one who is the actual maid, or they're the one that's mowing the lawn, or they're the ones that are filing the paperwork, right? The one that are doing all of the work generally get paid the least. And if you're in this category, maybe you're going to make up to $80,000 or so a year. The challenge with that being is obviously if you're wanting to actually really create wealth, it's nearly impossible or really hard to do in this first layer because you simply can't make enough money to have a decent lifestyle and save a bunch of money. Now, are there crazy people who live on 50% of their income and eat ramen every single day, drive a 10-year-old car and never do anything fun or new, and then they're able to build wealth? Obviously, yes, you can still do that. However, it's much harder, and I don't know if most people have the capacity or the willingness maybe to build wealth that way because they also want to enjoy their life, and they should. So the second layer, or the second level, is going to be called the organizer. Now, the organizer is almost exactly what it sounds like. They're the person who's going to put teams together. So they're going to take those individual doers and group them into a way that an entire process, an entire sales process can get done. Because yes, we need the mower, but we also need the accountant person, we also need the CPA person, we also need the person who's going to do the paperwork, we also need the person who's going to do the phone call and make sure that person knows that their yard is done or that their car is done. So the organizer is going to get paid a little bit more because what he's going to do is group that set of people together so that they can complete an entire job, not just one part of it. And because they're able to do that, they usually get paid a little bit more money. So this is going to be the person in management usually, right? And you can make multiple six figures doing that, nothing wrong with that. However, again, if you're really looking at building some serious wealth, can be a little bit of a challenge. Obviously a little bit easier in this category than being in the doers, but it's still going to be a challenge, especially once you get married and you start having kids. But really the way this group is going to make their money is through organizing people. Now on to number three. Number three is going to be the communicator. So the communicator is the one that can convey a message. Now you could see this as maybe the radio host or the person on TV, maybe a salesperson, maybe the person doing advertising. They're the ones that are going to sell the bigger picture of what that's going to look like. For instance, there's a difference between the person who's running the landscaping company, or they might even work inside the landscaping company, but they're willing to go out and find and talk to the people through their communication. They're going to find the clients. So they make money with their words and their ability to paint a picture to somebody, a painting of what's in their heart and how it's going to help this individual into what it is that they actually want to do. They're getting them away from pain, maybe the pain of having to make their own coffee, and into the pleasure of carrying that Starbucks coffee around, right? So the relaying of that message, the advertising that they do, the layout of the store, right there, everything about Starbucks when you walk into it portrays a certain message, and there's somebody who did that. And many of these people make into multiple six figures, into the seven figures. And number four is going to be the creators. These are the ones who are going to come up with an idea and find a need for something before there's actually a need or an idea for it. For instance, these are going to be the people that you would think of whenever we talk about somebody like this, right? As soon as I say Elon Musk, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The type of person that, although he didn't really invent the electric car, he did do a great job making it popular. And he didn't do it from his ability to sell us out on the batteries and the components and all of these things in it. He did it on the bigger vision of moving into the future and being this future-esque type vehicle. And even though it's very plain, you get inside one, but it's very clean and it's very elegant, and he's selling this whole new idea. Or you think about Steve Jobs was fantastic at this, right? Like, we didn't really need the iPod, right? We didn't really need it. At that point, we had the CD player, but the convenience of being able to put all those songs just in a little thing that you could carry in your pocket versus having to carry all the CDs, that was kind of revolutionary. He created something that people didn't even know that they wanted or needed. As you look at these things, it's very rare to almost never that you see somebody go from the step one to the step four. Now, I'm not saying that it can't happen and that it has never happened, but it's almost never happens. And the reason for that is because each one of these skills compounds on top of each other. Each one of these platforms of value compounds on top of the other. For instance, if Steve Jobs thought about the iPod, he couldn't do step three. He couldn't communicate why this was so important, and he was too busy talking about the circuits that were in it and things that people don't really find important versus what it was going to do for them and how cool it was going to be, and the ability to carry hundreds of songs in your pocket, which was virtually unheard of at that point. It wasn't even a thought in everybody's head. He knew that, and he was able to sell the vision to people so that they would want to create groups and then obviously go out there and do the work of building it and selling it and doing all of that stuff. So if you can kind of understand that process, then you can look at it and go, well, where am I and what is the income that I'd like to make? Because when you look at an Elon or you look at a Steve Jobs, basically the sky is the limit. You talk about a Walt Disney, the sky is the limit in the income that they can make. So part of that, if you're thinking about a pathway of creating wealth, if you're thinking about increasing your income, one of the ways you can do it is you can cry and moan and complain and hope that the government will pay you more or that your boss will pay you more. Or you can maybe think about building the skills and moving into one of these other levels of value so that you can get compensated more for your time. And when we say it like that, we understand why each one of these levels makes more money. and also the differences between them. So I hope that helps you understand and get an idea of where you are and where you would like to go. Maybe you don't need to make 8, 9, 10 figures a year. Maybe that's way outside of anything you could want to do or need to do or have the desire to do, and that's perfectly fine. But maybe that will help you kind of figure out where you would like to be and if the path that you're on is actually going to get you there or not. So I hope this was helpful for you. Don't forget to smash that like button and also hit the subscribe as well. I would also like to hear some feedback from you. And don't forget, make sure you smash that like button and also hit the subscribe as well. And hopefully I'll see you in the comment sections too. And so I'm really excited about some of the things that are coming up. I'm working on some things personally for myself, just research that I've been doing around godly principles in business and godly principles around money and some of the things that are going on there. And I've been learning so much and I'm excited to share about you. And I think us as Christians, we have a lot of this stuff wrong in the way that we're either taught it or the way that we internalize a lot of these things. So I'm really excited to be sharing some of that with you as well. So make sure you keep an eye out, hit the little bell button if you'd like to see when those are actually coming out. And I will see you then. Talk to you guys later. Bye.